Hey guys, welcome back to Ingenious TechHub channel. So in this video, I will discuss Infosys interview question and answer for automation test engineer with 3 to 8 year of experience, and this is the technical round first. Okay, the first question is they have asked the first question is describe your roles and responsibility in your current or previous project if you worked on the multiple project. So roles and responsibility when you are working as a QA manual and automation. So I will try to give you the common answer. Okay, so as per your current project you guys can add those points. Okay, the first is your requirement analysis and test planning. So participated in a sprint planning and requirement discussion with product owner and business analyst. So if you are following the agile process, so we have a sprint planning. So we have a discussion what in the coming sprint, what user story is coming. Identify when you will get assigned your test means tickets, then we can start to work on that. Identify the test scenario, created detailed test cases and prioritize them based on the business impact. Then, guys, here if you want to add more manual roles and responsibility, you guys can add it. But here we are just going to focus on more on the automation part. Okay, that is what the question they have asked. So, highlighting more on automation part. Okay, so now I also involved in the automation framework design and development. Design and maintain a scalable automation framework using Java, Selenium, TestNG, Maven, REST Assured, and Cucumber. So Cucumber depend upon your project. Okay, so now these days mostly project you could see we have a Cucumber framework. Okay, implemented page object model and reusable utility method to improve maintainability. Integrated test script with CI/CD pipeline like Jenkins, GitHub, or for the continuous execution. Now we have a 1 second. Now we have a test a script development and execution. So once your framework is developed, then we can start developing of the test script. So automated regression, a smoke and sanity test result, wrote and executed UI and API database automation script to ensure to end-to-end coverage. So use tools like Postman for API validation before a scripting in REST assured. So make sure when you are automating API, you must have a data ready and you can execute all the tests manually. So it will become easy to write a script in REST assured. So you cannot see any data related issue in your automation. So defect tracking and reporting. So log the defect in the Jira with proper step, screenshot and logs. Worked closely with developers to reproduce the issue and retest after fixes. Generated automation execution report using Extend and Allure. So Azure base what you want to implement or what you have implemented. If you are using the Extend report, mention Extend report. If you are using the Allure report, mention and share them with a stakeholder. Continuous improvement and collaboration. So this is the very important things, so whatever we have existing, we have to do continuous improvement, and that is very important. Participated in daily stand-up, sprint, retrospective, and defect calls. Provide knowledge transfer if any new joiners will come. We also provide the KT to a new team member and contributed to the code review as well. Okay. So once code is developed means you have whatever the development or task you have done. So we have to do review as well. Optimize the test cases to reduce the execution time by implementing the parallel execution and test data management strategy. Production validation. So guys, this is the depend upon your project. So sometimes we have involved and sometimes we don't. But this is the proper means this is the proper rules. Like if something will deploy in the production, we can do a smoke and sanity level of the validation. So supported post deployment validation while running the smoke test in the production ensure the stability. I think if we will explain this all the points, and that is what we are doing, in our current project. So next question they have asked, have you ever built test automation framework from the scratch? If yes, explain its architecture. Yes. So we have developed framework from the scratch. Okay. And you have to also add this point. If you not, please work on that. Okay. So yes, I have built a test automation framework from a scratch in previous project. The framework was designed using the Java Selenium Testing Web and REST assured. It followed the hybrid modular hybrid plus modular architecture with of the following key components. So this is the high level. So we have a test case layer, then we have a page object layer, then we have a utilities and helper layer, then we have a config and test data management layer. I will discuss one by one. We have a report and logging layer. Then we have a CI/CD integration layer as well. Okay. So what is the test design layer? So where we can start to write the features file or test case. Okay. So test scenario were written either in Cucumber or Gherkin for the BBD, or if you are not using Cucumber, then we can start to write, you know, in the testng class only. Okay. This serves as an entry point for the automation execution. Now we have a test execution layer. So use testng for test execution. Like we can do the grouping execution, we can prioritize the test cases, we can do the parallel execution, we can have some parameterization, manage test data using the Excel, JSON database depending upon the scenario. So how to handle external data or static data. So you can implement either Excel, JSON, you can add the properties file also, XML file also, it depend upon your requirement. Now we have a business layer. This is the one of the most important layer that is called page object model. So implemented page object model for the UI. Each pages had dedicated class containing locators and reusable action method. So added a page factory pattern for cleaner code and readability. So we have a utility layer. This is the one of the core part of the framework where we are implementing the utility. Okay. Develop the common utilities such as WebDriver Manager, like you are handling the browser like Chrome, Firefox, running your parallel test. Okay. Then wait utility. Simply reusable method you have to create as per your project requirement. So these are the one of the examples I am giving you. But for the new test cases, if new requirement will come, then you have to work on it. Then we have a logging utility like for log4j, and test data reader, like we have a utility classes. You are handling the data from the Excel sheet, you are handling the data from the JSON, or you are handling the data from the DB. And API utility. So if you have a REST assured means, definitely every project nowadays we have a API testing. So REST assured or wrapper function. Okay. Then we have a service API automation layer. So build the wrapper around the REST assured for the get, post, put, and delete request. Validated status code, JSON schema, header, and DB response for API test cases. Now we have a configuration layer. Use a configuration properties like YAML or properties file, you know, for environment variable. base URL, credential, and browser type. Maven profile, we use the Maven profile used for the switch between the QA, UAT, and prod environment. Then we have a reporting and logging. Okay, so integrated extended test or LU report. So you can use any of them. Both are the very good reporting library. Now we have a configuration. So configure the log4j for the logging and debugging and tracking purpose. Now we have a CI/CD integration. So integrated with the Jenkins pipeline for schedule the build, regression, run, and email notification. Test result were published automatically to the stakeholder. If any deployment happen, our script will execute and report will be sent to our stakeholder. This is what we have a end-to-end framework development. Okay guys, so that's all in this video guys. So we have a many more question, so we will discuss in the next part. So please subscribe and press bell icon, so when I will upload the part 2, then you will get new video notification and you can watch. That's all this in this video. See you in the next video. Bye bye.